Hi, Kim J here, and I have a tutorial for you on down dog. I feel it is the most repeated yoga posture in a class, and I feel so bad. I see so many people that struggle with it, and there's so many different things going on in down dog. It's really hard to cue everything to everyone in a class, and because it's the most common pose, and it can be one of the most difficult ones, I feel, because especially because you're not looking, right, your head's down, um, I feel that it needs a tutorial, and I'm going to go over with you the most common cues that I use in a yoga class that I think could be very helpful for you. And with that said, if you have an injury, down dog is not going to be for you. Please do child's pose, modify. Nobody's going to talk about you. It's not a big deal. If you have any shoulder injury, especially wrist injury, you're going to do child's pose, and it's totally okay. Now, if down dog is executed wrong and repeated over and over again, you can get a shoulder injury. And I don't want people to hurt themselves. I want down dog to be good for you. So we're going to talk about one of the most common things I feel is the scapular region. We all know that, we don't want to be like this, right? We want to be like this just in life. Well, it's the same thing in down dog. However, in down dog, you are upside down and your arms are reached out in front. So if I can show you, most people have the tendency to cave in the shoulder girdle, and that's going to pinch in the cervical spine. Now, if you take your outer upper arms and roll them, you can see how I'm widening the scapular region, and then you will make space for your neck. So there's this external rotation of the upper arms, and the cue that I give for that is rolling your outer upper arms towards your face, and I'll show you that in just a moment. I like to start people out when I'm showing them down dog on all fours. Another common thing that I see is people are so used to planks that they want to muscle it. They want to muscle it in the shoulders, and they'll tend to have their shoulders more over their wrists. And if you're on all fours and you have your shoulders over your wrists, you're going to feel weight in your wrists. It just makes sense, right? But in down dog, we're supposed to stretch our hips back. So if you start to do that from an all fours position and drop your head, you can feel that you're shifting your weight into your fingertips. And I'm keeping my head up so you can hear me. But you'll feel that you're lightening your wrists, and that's what you want in down dog. You want to stretch your hips back and make this upside down V, sort of. And we'll show you that right now. But before we go into it, I always have people to spread their fingers. You want as much contact with the ground as possible. And by the way, you should have a sticky mat, not a cushy one, because you're just not going to feel good in down dog. It's really hard to do down dog if you're not on a sticky mat. So, on a sticky mat, spread your fingers wide, hands or shoulders distance apart. And then from here, tuck the toes, feet or hips distance apart, and they can be wider if you need that when you get in down dog. But I'm going to lift my knees, roll over the balls of the feet, and then push the floor away and push my hips back, and then squeeze. I'm hugging my triceps into my ears. And then another thing is that outer upper arms. The outer upper arms, roll them under towards my face, and then the whole scapular region widens. Next thing is pull your rib cage in, pull your belly in, so you can stretch your low back even. Then another thing that I see is people want to straighten their legs, which is great if your hamstrings let you. Most people, it just doesn't work. And what happens is, if you want to straighten your legs and your hamstrings are tight, you are going to start to come forward, okay?
and that's not helping you. You might as well be just in a plank position. So please, if that's you, you want to get your shoulders back and hips back, bend your knees, push into all the fingers, pull your ribs in, and lengthen. So from the tips of my fingers all the way up to the tailbone, there's that long line. And by the way, you don't have to, your heels don't have to touch the mat. A lot of people wonder about that. They can be lifted, but you want to feel as though they're anchoring, right? Because you want that stability. You want to have that energetic lift from your fingers and sits bones up and then drop into the heels, even if they're not touching. So that is my little tutorial on Down Dog. I hope it helps you, and thank you so much for watching. Peace out.